So, welcome. Today we have Emma from Bespoke Backdrops at Create Your Life interviews. So, as we know, it's all about creating different change in our life, but with some thinking outside box. And that's where I found Emma very creative, and that's where and she is the first entrepreneur in my interview series. I'm so thrilled to welcome you, Emma.
Thank you. Good to be here. I'm honoured. I'm the first one. Excellent.
Yeah, fantastic. So I would love to know and explain to the viewers when you started, where were you before you got this brilliant idea of having bespoke backdrops, and how was your experience in that journey from when we are starting up? It's a different journey, but in this particular product, how you arrived and who were those angels helped you and then we can talk about what's the next going ahead. So let's start with you, Emma.
Well, I have been an artist and a designer for 20 years. So I haven't just come up with my backdrop business, which is what I do for my clients. I produce video backdrops for their videos and client calls. So I haven't just come up with the idea from nothing. The idea came to me in 2015. I'd just come back from Silicon Valley, because I won a pitch contest with my very first business, which was called My Bespoke Chair. And it was a software that I developed, an online design your own chair business. So I had this software developed where my clients could go onto my website and choose their chair style, drag and drop the fabrics, have the chair look exactly how they wanted it to look using my fabric designs, and they could spin the chair 360 and then they could buy it and I would have it upholstered and ship the chair to them. So I entered a pitch contest in 2014 with this chair business, sort of disrupting the market a little bit, the online furniture market. I won the pitch contest in Sydney, but all the panel, like the sharks, were in Silicon Valley. And so I went to Silicon Valley to meet them and to really explore how to, maybe expand my business from Australia into America. And it was when I was in Silicon Valley, I was in a law firm, and they were potentially going to give me $25,000 in startup legal funds, that I realized I did not want to have a tech startup business. I did not want to be a dot-com millionaire, because the way they were talking is that if I became the CEO of this company that people would invest in, I would never pick up a paintbrush again. I would never be customer facing. I would never do what I'm best at, which is being creative. So I spent my 3 weeks in Silicon Valley, learned so many amazing things through the tech startup world, which is such a great industry anyway. Came home thinking, I don't want to do this business anymore. I don't want to expand. I don't want a tech startup, but I do want to draw, paint, and design and be creative with my clients. So I sat on the sofa one day, and in a Facebook group in early 2015, someone was just writing on a post, does anyone know where I can buy a custom backdrop for my webinars? And I literally had one of those cartoon light bulb moments, and I went, my God, I'm a textile designer. I can do that. If one person's asking for backdrops for videos and webinars, there's going to be a whole raft of other small business owners wanting the same. That's how I came upon my idea.
Wow, Emma, I'm so touched by your this background idea, and you didn't want to be the tech millionaire, and
I would have been terrible at it.
and it's like they were you won the contest. They were so thrilled with the idea. They wanted to put in money, and which is rarely happens because of course there are so many people go to this pitch contest and really expect that investment, because everyone finds their idea is the best, which is good. However, from their perspective, it is altogether different game. How they see it, how they evaluate is they have different perspective, and it's like you knew that's not where your heart is.
Absolutely. I knew it wasn't where my heart was. So I just thought, right, how can I always like to write out my ideal day. So I had this journal where I wrote out what my ideal day would look like. And it did not involve Silicon Valley and raising a seed fund round A, round B. It did not involve that. It involved drawing and painting and being creative and being customer facing and being paid well for it as well. I was very clear on that. And It's
Wow.
happened.
Yes, and I want to pick up. This is something what I really promote with my clients, and it's one of my aspect of my clients to write down their ideal average day.
Yes.
Because the reason we start business, the reason we move from job to business is for us to have our own life, have our own ideal average day. And it's not about sitting on the beach, it's not about having holidays. It's
No,
about having every day you wouldn't be bored and you would be thrilled, woke up and have your full heart and soul into it.
absolutely.
And thank you. This was something really came across very well, as when you write your ideal average day,
Yeah.
your business will come in fruition
Yeah.
in line with your desires. Wow, very well said.
Yeah, I do believe in that. I'm a very big believer in the law of attraction, and what you put out there is what you get back. So writing your ideal day out, even though it might seem really impossible, but just the fact that you're focusing your mind on what you'd like, slowly your actions will start to mimic that, and you'll attract that sort of those desires towards you. But you have to take action. You can't just write it down. You've got to do something about
Do
it.
something. Yes, it's not going to
No,
drop
you
from
can't.
the sky. Very well said. And so, yeah, so you had this one person asking, and you had that faith in yourself to, yes, there could be potential, there could be a ray of light ahead to flourish this business in this line, because it was about textile and design, which you have always been doing. So tell me then how it took off.
Well, then I thought, okay, I've got this great idea. Who do I know in the video space world? Who do I know that does videos or teaches video? So I knew through my business community, because I already had a really great business community set up with my first business. So I just knew someone that was teaching video on iPhones. And I said, listen, Andrea, what do you think of this idea that I've got? Is it feasible? How would it work? Are there any tech things I need to work out, or any stumbling blocks, anything that you can see that I don't know about? And we discussed it. She said, I think it's a really great idea, because there are so many people working from home, like myself, who want to show up professionally but don't necessarily want to have their kitchen in the background. So she said, I've got one client for you. So I actually got my very first client by connecting with someone and asking for help, asking for their advice. And she brought me my first client. And I didn't have a website at that stage. I've never done a backdrop in my life, but people trusted me, and my first client put her trust in me, and I produced this backdrop for her. And then it's just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, so thank you, Emma, for sharing those first golden moments of our business journey. So the first I'm hearing is connect with your existing network, which you had. The
Yeah.
second is, ask for help. Who I know? That's such a wonderful question to ask. Who do I know who can help? And video is one of your medium where this product will be used or service could be used. So think of the mediums where your product and service could be used, and who is having those businesses in that medium, and have those go ahead and ask for help, because testing the business idea is so important, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, the reason I learned a very interesting lesson with my first business, the My Bespoke Chair business online. I built the software. I put everything in it. It was so perfect. I put money into it. I made it so perfect. But I think you can over-engineer something at the beginning if you're not actually listening to your market. So I had these beautiful websites and this beautiful software and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. So when I started Bespoke Backdrops, I thought, right, I'm not going to do anything until I listen to my audience. So I had my first client. And after my first client, I built my website. And then I just tweaked it as I went along. So I didn't have it all perfect when I started. And so I've done it very differently this time with this business. And it's made such a huge difference. I'm profitable from day one. Whereas the other business, nah.
Yes. So you listeners, viewers, learn from others' mistakes if
Yeah.
you're starting out now. B is a client is everything. They tell you, they will tell you what to tweak, what to change, and just be open. Yes, this is, I'm first time starting. This is, you are my first that golden client. Help me to help you, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. So I now build the business sort of very lean startup mode, and it's definitely been the best thing. So I'm still learning. I'm 2.5 years into my business, and I'm still tweaking my message. And I'm still learning from conversations I have with my clients, and it's the best way to build a business, really.
Sure. I want to ask you, as the people who are starting out, how do I price, or how do I charge my client? Is all everyone have that question? So, what process you followed in terms of coming up with this? How to, yeah, quote for your product and service?
Yeah, it was difficult because I didn't have any other competitors to compare against. So I couldn't sort of look at what other people were charging in the market. I just worked out a number, an arbitrary number that I'd be happy to spend my time being paid for. So I picked up a number that it would be $500. I'd be happy to design a backdrop for $500. On top of that, I had done my research of how much it would cost to get a backdrop printed, to get it shipped, the stand, because all the backdrops I do come with stands to hang it from. So I added up all my sort of the costs, added it to the $500, and that's how I came up with my first price. And then, so I was just happy with that $500. And then I realized, going through client 1, client 2, client 3, oh my goodness, it takes a lot more time to design a backdrop than I thought. I'm not happy working just for $500 anymore. So then I increased my price after having a few clients at the $500 profit level. I increased my price just to see the elasticity of, what would someone be prepared to pay? So I raised it to $600. And so now I've come to, I think I'm at my stretching point with one particular price point that I have, but it was just incrementally increasing and seeing if the market responded to it. But the first price was really just a number. Would I be happy to receive $500 in my pocket after expenses to do this drawing, painting, and designing?
Yes, sure. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. So, of course, this one of the approach you took is having that have a go with your gut feel. However, with that research background of how much material creating process will cost, and having that bit of markup, whatever that markup you decide, and as if when it's your first client, you are not thinking about price, but it's like want to have a start, and then you have a go. So and do you produce this here, or does it come from outside Australia?
Well, the small backdrop, so the one I have behind me is the smallest size. That's printed in Australia, in Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah, that's printed in Sydney. And then I have the stands to hang it from, drop shipped. But I now do bigger backdrops. So I do all the way up to 4-meter wide backdrops for events and sort of for bigger videos, and they get printed in China. There isn't anyone in Australia that actually does that for me, so I had to go to China for that.
Yeah, sure. And it's all about business. When we are expanding and adding more products, we have to diversify and even reach out overseas. Very, very well said. So now I'm curious to understand, so are your products only backdrops, or there are other more than backdrops?
Well, so I started off just doing the backdrops, but after about 1.5 years, I'd have clients come to me, and I'd done their backdrop for them. And because when I design a backdrop, I really go into the brand of the client. I really go into the why and their business and the feelings they want their clients to feel. And I translate that into a backdrop. So I was doing these backdrops for clients, and they say, Emma, you've really captured me in a backdrop, my business essence in a backdrop, but now my branding doesn't match. My logo isn't working. My Facebook social media imagery doesn't work. Can you please do that for me as well? So I kind of went backwards and then started doing people's branding work. Okay. And I did it kind of silently on the side for about 1 year. I didn't advertise it. I just did it when people asked me. And then this January, so January 2017, I actually advertised it, and I had clients within the first week. So I do branding work for people as well as the backdrops, because it's the same process. It's the same transferable skill. that I do. When I interview people for backdrops, it's the same questions I would ask them if I was doing their branding work for them. So,
And is that also you did during Bespoke Chair?
no, not at all. Bespoke Chair was just designing the fabrics and just running the online business, basically. So I didn't do anything really creative.
Sure. You won't believe I'm hearing Bespoke Chair first time. So it will be interesting to see. So how is competition looking now as this Bespoke backdrop has been there for 2 years?
2.5 years. I don't have any competition yet.
Wow, fantastic. That's a wonderful place to be in, where you are the king, queen, and
Yes, I mean, there's obviously options that people can obviously do as they please with their backdrops, but as far as, you know, the service that I provide with my clients, I haven't seen anyone else do it, and my clients have even searched and they've come back to me saying there's nobody else doing quite what you're doing, so I'd like to work with you. So it's a nice space to be in.
yeah, and I think when clients give you ideas, as backdrop came from the client space, it never came from, oh, I want to do this, because few people do competition research, and that's where they come up with, okay, this something does not exist, and that's why I want to do this. But
Yeah.
we're quite open to those requests coming from clients. So I'm curious to know, so if someone have to approach you, how much time does it take, and what's the process you follow?
Well, the sort of the whole process takes about 6 to 8 weeks. So from the moment that a client books in with me a Skype call to when they pay, then it's about 6 to 8 weeks for the whole design process to happen, for it to be delivered to them. And in that design process, we have a Skype call. I really, ask questions about their business, and then I go away and I produce a written brief so that they can see that I've understood the conversation. And then the first thing I do in the design process is produce a mood board and some concept ideas. So they can see from the mood board, which is sort of a collection of images that represent the design I'm going to create for them, they can see whether we're in the right visual direction. And they can say, yes, Emma, I like this design, or I hate this section, or can we take this out or blend it? So they have a say in the design. And then after that, there's 2 more reviews where I go ahead and actually design the backdrop, and I show it to them at each stage, and we just tweak it as we go. And by the end of it, they know exactly what they're getting. It's not like a go away and design it and they don't know what they're getting. They're part of the design process. I guide people through it very carefully, so it's not overwhelming. You just get 3 reviews, and then it gets printed and shipped to you.
Yes, fantastic. That's such a wonderful. What is your favorite client success story you would like to share?
I tell you my favorite story. I did a talk recently in Sydney. I gave a talk, and I was talking about mindset and how a few years ago my entrepreneurial mindset was quite wobbly. My money mindset was quite wobbly as well, and I needed to rein my mindset in to actually grow my business. So I read a book by a woman called Denise Duffield Thomas.
Say it again.
Denise Duffield Thomas. Okay. And she wrote a book called Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. And she's actually a very successful money mindset coach. And I read her book and I followed her online, and she's based in Australia. She's a very successful Australian money coach, and she does a lot of work in America now. So she really helped me through reading her book with my money mindset. And then last year, Denise came to me and asked me to design a backdrop for her. So if you go on to deniseduffield-thomas.com and you'll see any videos that she's doing, she has a backdrop behind her, and that's my design. So that's a kind of a beautiful little business circle that happened to me.
Oh, that's such a wonderful story you shared. So successful. So what I'm hearing is already successful entrepreneurs, coaches, also understood this backdrop. Yes. Magic is required in their journey.
Absolutely. It was great validation when Denise wanted a backdrop. So yeah, it's great. People seeing the value of it. It was a real sort of boost for me.
Sure. It's I'm going to ask a specific question. In your business, have you had any percentage or increase in clients' revenue kind of measure done for your clients? So after having the bespoke, they had 5%, 10%,
Ah.
whatever.
I've not actually collected that data. The data that I do collect is sort of more people tell me that, oh, one client said that she did as many videos in 5 days with the backdrop as she had done in 3 months. So from a productivity point of view and an enthusiasm point of view to get a video done, she did in 5 days what would normally take her 3 months because she felt so enthusiastic about her business. So although that's not sort of a financial metric, it is sort of a content metric, and it's a kind of a great metric to sort of understand that the backdrop, you know, is useful within someone's business because they need to get content out there, they need to connect with their audience. And so that was a really nice story.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So productivity metric is certainly very important in entrepreneur journey where if we work, we earn. If we don't work, we don't earn. So productivity is equally important for us to get to that number position. So wonderful. And oh, I'm so thrilled to hear these unique and magical stories. So what's your plan looks like going forward?
For the future? Well, I have reached a bottleneck in my own business, and I am my own bottleneck. I am fully booked with clients. I can't actually earn anymore. I can't do anymore without sacrificing my health and my family, and I have kids and I don't want to do that. So I now am planning to increase my revenue by selling more of the pre-designed backdrops. So I have a whole range of backdrops that are already designed that anyone can buy them, and they get printed and they get shipped. So they're not customs. They don't take, me away from the business. So I'm developing that side of the business so I can have this revenue stream. It's not passive income, but it's more of a leveraged income so that I can then increase, the revenue of the business and the expand the growth of the business while still keeping my sanity. And keeping my own custom clients. I still really want to be doing custom clients. And so if I could grow that side of the business and have my assistant take that over to a greater capacity, then I have more time on my own kind of custom clients. And that's where I'm going in the next year.
Sure. I want to give you compliment. You are such a creative artist and lover. It's like it's part of your passion and identity, where you working with those clients one to one gives you that happiness, joy. Is that what am I interpreting correctly?
Yes, I love one-on-one, which is one of the things back in Silicon Valley. I realized I'd never speak to a client again if I continued with my, online business, my tech business. So yeah, I love that one-on-one connection. Community is really important to me with my business. And I am part of a couple of Facebook communities, closed business communities, and they are so important to me for my mental well-being, and I love that connection with people. So yeah, I do like being customer facing.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to share another example. One of my mentor had shared. In Italy, there is one bespoke shoemaker, and this guy, he loves making bespoke shoes, designs on shoes for people, and that's what he enjoys. He's like, I don't want to expand. This is what is my heart is, and he's been doing that. And so you are one of those creative artists whose heart and soul is in those one-to-one design, and you want to create those magical designs.
Absolutely, yes.
So you are unique.
Well, I hope I also have a business. Funny thing is, growing up, going to art school and sort of being an artist and being identified as an artist and a creative person, I never really put business and art and creativity together. And that whole starving artist ethos that we have, that you're either really good at art or you're really good at business. I've discovered in the last sort of 5 years, I love business. I find it so exciting. So I love that creativity. I love that one-on-one and actually designing for my clients. But I also love the business side. Hence, I want to expand and grow and scale, but not lose sight of what I love doing, which is that sort of custom work. So I do really believe, and I tell a lot of people, that you can absolutely mix being creative with earning money. And it's not a sellout. It's just business, and it's an exchange, money in exchange for creativity. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Emma. Very well said. As people sometimes lose that connection, we have those our technical, creative skills is one aspect, and second we have is the business skills, because that delivery and product comes into picture if we make the sale, if we do marketing, if we do those HR or operation practices, then only we will be able to sustain what we love to do.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, and that's where I am helping entrepreneurs to get that clarity. It's not you only have to be worried about whatever coaching or technical skills, what you deliver. There's a different ball game to play along with this, and in between there is a our personal growth is equally important. How we are growing with our technical and business skills, because till the time we don't grow, our business is not going to grow.
I firmly believe that having your own business is the biggest personal development journey you'll ever go on. You find out so much about yourself running a business, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yes, I agree, and we didn't find that in when I was in corporate life earlier, and you were also working for someone else earlier.
No, I've never been in corporate.
Oh, okay, and you have never worked for anyone else.
No.
Okay, fantastic. So this is something for me. It's like when I was in corporate space, it was more like you are putting your development on someone else. If the company performance management is whatever rate you, and that's what makes you feel you are developing or not developing, and that makes you sick. And I was like, and that's where this is amazing journey of where you are in charge of your destiny, in charge of your personal development. Who you are becoming in this business is what will drive the happiness.
Absolutely. Well said. Yeah.
Yeah, and Emma, I've loved having you, and you've been so beautifully sharing your journey, those
my pleasure.
raw moments.
Yes. Absolute pleasure. It's been great.
Yes, so I'm so grateful to Emma, and if viewers or anyone, if they want to get in touch with you for having bespoke backdrop, how they can get in touch with you?
Well, they can hop onto Facebook, and I have a Facebook page called Bespoke Backdrops, or they can go and they can message me through Facebook. I'm always on Facebook, and I get back to people very quickly. Or they can hop onto my website, which is bespokebackdrops.com, and I have a contacts form there as well.
All right, thank you, guys. If you are looking to have productivity increase, have that you factor in behind you, and I'm going to approach you maybe soon. Because that's what we entrepreneurs require, to be ourselves in what we do and how we do, and share that with clients. So thank you once again, Emma, and we'll be in touch shortly.
Fantastic. Thank you, Kay.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
Bye.